Yo, what's good, IG? I know you noticed the headboard. I know you noticed the headboard. I'm back. I'm back in the States. Man, I wanted to put a shirt on, sit up, do this whole vlog reaction. What's up? Yeah, do this whole vlog reaction to being in Africa. Do it properly, but I haven't been able to really sleep well since I went there and I got back playing touchdown at TF Green 12:25ish this morning, and I got back home to the crib, around 1:10, 1:15 because it took some time to get my luggage. But what an incredible, what an incredible, incredible experience. I don't care if my lips are ashy. I don't care if my breath stink. I don't care about none of that shit, yo. I'm gonna start from the top if I can. I got eye boogers and shit. It is what it is. First and foremost, I don't ever want to hear people complain about their circumstances. If you're able-bodied, employed, have a place to stay, sleep, have a car, access to public transportation, and the means to utilize whatever, additional services you might need access to. I don't ever want to hear none of that talk from any of you ever again after coming back from Africa, bro. You know what I mean? And folks that frequent like the Dominican Republic and frequent Jamaica and frequent all these other developing countries that don't really have the same access to everyday privileged resources that we do, shut up. Stop talking. Just stop. Because you don't know how fucking blessed you are. You really don't. And me realizing how blessed I am, man, if I'm being totally transparent with you all, I tell y'all on this, I tell you on Instagram all the time that I've been in therapy for 9 years. Same therapist. I got some Jamaican and Trinidadian blood in me. I am also, mostly Nigerian. I grew up Nigerian American with some very huge nuggets of that culture exposed to me. Very little on the Jamaican and Trinidadian side. So when I first heard my therapist speak to a group of young people, he was a contractor at a place that a lot of you know that I worked and spent a lot of my life supporting, the Nonviolence Institute. Back then it was called the Institute for the Study and Practice of Nonviolence. And they have a program that they work with young teenagers. Back in the day, it was a summer program. It was a summer employment work readiness program. Now it's straight up 2-week nonviolence conflict resolution training for teens at risk of being on the street, making bad decisions, being violent, getting involved with things that can potentially lead to violent things happening to them and the people that are in their social circles, etc. Um, and the first time I heard this man speak to those kids, he asked one of the kids, why can you, or why do you feel, like when you're in an argument with a person that you have to yell? Because, this particular kid was always rowdy in the program. That particular summer, this was 2015, summer 2015. Oh, I lied, summer 2014, shit. And the student didn't have a response. And, this is before he was my therapist. After this, after he said what I'm about to say, That's when I was like, yo, I need this guy's number. I need to figure out what his rate is. And I need to start talking to him about my life. I need him to start unpacking my life objectively through the lens of a, psychologist. But he said, real simple. If you allow people to get you angry and emotional when you're having a conversation during a debate, then you give them power over you. Then he went on to say, and this is again in 2014, he said, I haven't raised my voice to another person in discussion in over 11 years. And I looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And so that immediately sparked my interest. And I needed to introduce myself to this man formally outside of, the workshop, and shake his hand, give him that, and ask him how the fuck do I stay connected with him, because that's the energy I'm on. That's the energy I would like to be on. I would like to learn how to do that. And how? How do you do that? How do you get to a space mentally, physically, emotionally, where if you're in a conversation with somebody, you don't take it personal if they have different opinions. You don't take it personal if you recognize that they're not just intelligent enough to have that conversation with you. How do you gracefully speak to them in that conversation like a Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's going to break it down to you, who's going to break down your perspective or the facts to them in a way that's not condescending and doesn't come off arrogant and doesn't come off dismissive. You know what I'm saying? And he gave me multiple tools that was able to help me, for the most part, I would say in 78% of the conversations I have with people, I always come at it from an objective lens, and I always ask questions. Why? What do you mean by that? Where did you get that from? Like, those are the types of questions. Or explain that to me. Tell me more, because I don't agree, but I would like to know more about your take. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think about it in this perspective, and I want you to unpack your perspective a little more, because what you're giving me is not making any sense. Because I'm very practical. I'm a very practical, realistic, nonsensical type of person. That's how I've always been. I also have a very dominant alpha personality, like very dominant personality. I can go in any room and I can be the least educated person in that room. But the way my confidence is set up, because I know who I am and what I have to offer to the world, I walk in any room with my head held high and I'm looking around and I'm sizing people up. And I'm like, all right, you know what? This is a room that I can be in, that I don't mind existing in, but I'm gonna play the background. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna identify somebody that I do know. If I can't find anybody that I know in the room, it's fine. I'll go grab some water, sit at a table. If I'm at a banquet or a gala or a networking event, do my own thing, because I might be an anomaly in that particular room and folks don't know who I am, or folks probably seen or see my face or heard the name and know the work that I do, especially in the community, especially in the city, then at some point I'm going to be approached. I don't have to go out and just like introduce myself if I don't want to. I always do, but I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? That energy is going to come to me. I say all of these things to say, in Africa, my energy, my aura was immediately felt wherever I went. Not just because it was my first time visiting and I met a lot of family there, but also because as somebody who is Nigerian, and I look Nigerian, like there's about 40 or 50 different faces that you'll see, male and female. There's 40 to 50 different facial archetypes that you'll see when you go there. And I'm telling you, just by the last 10 days being there, bruh, like there's pictures that I've seen of folks from Benin, from Niger, from fucking Guinea, from Gambia, from the Gambia that look identical to Nigerians in certain parts of that country. You know what I mean? Like you can't even tell the difference. The skin, the nose, the facial structure, the cheek structure, the forehead, the jaw, the way the jaw is shaped, like ears, like even like the exoskeleton, bro, like the external features, the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, the feet. Can't even tell. Can't even tell that this person might be from an ethnic group to the north in Niger versus in the south part of Nigeria. You can't even fucking tell. One of the things that stood out to me even more so than like the way that the people looked, the way that they moved, which was ironically just as fast as us, but still somehow slower. And I'm going to try to make that make sense. There were, every day that I was there, the people that I would interact with, or, the folks that we would drive by. First off, where my father grew up in Ondo State. Ondo State is 3 hours and 14 minutes away from Lagos. That's where everybody talks. That's where everybody goes. That's where everybody talks about now. Lagos is the city. It's not the capital. Abuja is the capital. And Accra is Accra is like a super well developed, well known city as well. And Abuja is the capital. So that's where all the politicians are. That's where all the dignitaries are and that kind of shit. But Lagos is the tourist attraction. So imagine Lagos being Providence multiplied by 17, because there's 17 million. No, I lied, not 17. Providence is 1.1 million, maybe 1.2 million people in population. Lagos is 22 million. When you Google it, it says 17 point something, but that's not the truth. The locals will tell you, last census, there's 22 million of them that live in Lagos. And Lagos is like, I can't even explain it. It's Providence, but it's just huge. You know what I mean? Like everybody that's in that city is hustling, and they're trying to make money, and they're trying to do what they can do. They gotta do. You have Ogun, you have Osun State, Osun State. You have Osun, Oshun. Ondo is Ondo. Ondo is one of the states in the south, the southwest, I believe. And Ondo City is the capital of Ondo State. So think of Ondo as Rhode Island or Massachusetts, and Ondo City is Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. And there's a stark difference. There's just resources that don't exist in Ondo State or Ondo City that exist in Lagos. And it's by design. Like Ondo is in the country. Every state has a governor similar to here because Nigeria is a republic. With that said, though, every state is not created equal, and every state has its own uniqueness about it. You know what I'm saying? And in Ondo, people are significantly less wealthy, less privileged with resources than they are in Lagos, because Lagos is, you're on an island. There's like 2 or 3 islands over there. There's a bunch of commerce, and it just everything's just moving. So I spent 7 days in Ondo, in my dad's town, Ondo City, where he grew up. Went to his house. I showed you guys some photos of that on Instagram. Went to my uncle's crib. His house is, 5 or 6 minutes from my dad's house. And, I went to 2 of my uncle's houses that also live in Ondo, or grew up in Ondo and own property in Ondo. A stark difference to how they do real estate over there versus over here. You know what I mean? If you own land in Africa, you own it straight up. So if a plot of land is 10,000 and you build $150,000 house on it, that's your house forever, for life. Period. And if you own a house, you are in that upper class, that upper echelon of families. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that don't have a pot to piss in there. You know what I mean? My father, I think he said he spent close to $150,000 to build his house. The plot of land was given to him by my grandma, his mom. She had a home on that plot, you know, 4 decades ago, and the home that he built on it that's the house that when he's ready to move back, he's gonna live there. And I have, my brother and I, we have our own. We have the whole second level. He has the first level, and it's just insane. In the villages, in the city part, or in the country part of the city of Ondo, if you see somebody selling something and collecting money for fruits, vegetables, they do have like their own soda pop, like retail items. They have soda and different drinks like that are like African or UK based, that they sell for like 200 naira, 500 naira. 200 naira is a bill. It's a bill that you give somebody, a merchant, to purchase something, but it's only value in our currency would be 20 cents. The 500 naira in our currency would be 50 cents. And the highest physical paper money that they make is the thousand naira, which is only $1 in our currency. So if you have $100 US cash, when you land in Nigeria, you go to the bank and you exchange it at the currency rate that they have, and they do 2-to-1. Most days they do a 2-to-1 exchange rate. You're gonna get close to 200,000 of Nigerian money. You know what I mean? And you can go on the streets and get little less than that. Actually, you'll get a higher rate than that if you're gonna get back dirty money. But if you want clean mint money, what the banks out there do that I don't like, and that is fucking crazy illegal, and fraudulent, and just like epitomizes all the stereotypes that people have about Nigerians in America, is the banks will sell the mint money. They will sell it, not give it, not exchange it. They will sell it. They will go out of their way to sell it to individuals that have the means, like drug dealers, folks who have the means, who do illegal activities. They will sell the money that's brand new in mint condition in bundles, 200K, 500K, 1 million naira, and they'll sell it to these individuals, and then those individuals will then go out onto the street, and they'll go to parties. They'll pull up at parties, like how we got the rose guy and the flower guys here. Out there, they have the money guys, and they'll pull up. They'll go to the event spaces, the known event spaces, where they know there's going to be a couple high rollers, and they'll have their little backpack, and they'll pull out stacks. They'll pull out stacks of money. They'll pull out thousands of dollars, thousands of naira, mint 200 naira bills, 500 naira bills. You know what I mean? They can't do the thousands because that's too expensive for them. But like, they walk around with all of this red and green money, and they sell it to you for 31%, like for 11% on the dollar. So like, if you wanted 20,000 in mint $200 naira, 200 naira bills, you would have to pay 31,000. Basically $31 of our money to get 20,000 in mint bills, brand new, in a stack. You know what I mean? And I did that a couple times. I had my valet that was with me the entire trip, and my cousin Kasim. Shout out to Lio and shout out Kasim. Missed those guys already. I had those guys. If I needed bread, I went there with like $600. I ended up spending a little over a stack, and I was able to find this cool app that called TapTap. So if you're ever traveling internationally and you have money in your bank account and you don't want to take a bunch of cash with you, download TapTap. It's a really cool, really unique, very, very convenient app that you can download and send money internationally anywhere for a super small fee. Think of Venmo, think of PayPal, think of Cash App, but just for international travel. And the fee isn't even a lot. In Nigeria, the fee was maybe two 2,000 naira, so $2, $2.30 or something like that, to send fucking 270K naira to my valet that he can use. And they have POS machines, they have point of sale machines everywhere, and you can just, swipe at any vendor, any merchant, and you can purchase whatever you want. Or, like I said, there's black market money guys that are just hidden in certain areas, and you can go up to them and say, "Hey, I want to make a cash withdrawal from my card." You swipe it, you put in your debit number or whatever, and they'll give you that amount of cash. But the cash that you'll get from the vendors in the villages is gonna be dirty money, literally, just like, because they're black market retailers. So they'll give you a stack if you want. If you want 100K, which is $100, they'll give you 100K, but it's going to be in dirty bills. And then if you want to clean it, you have to go to the other guys, the other black market guys who wholesale and mint bills and get the clean bills. And the cleaner the bills are that you have in Ondo, specifically in Ondo State where my father grew up, the more you're going to be looked at as somebody who is not broke or poor. You're going to be looked at somebody who's doing well, because everybody out there has very dirty money. Very dirty. All the money, like you think US money is filthy, it is. But that shit is on another level. So if you have clean bills, that means you have access. That means you have resources. That means that you got money. I think I'm going to stop here and I'm going to do a part 2, because honestly, there's a lot that I would like to cover on this. And so, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do.